The news surrounding the Philadelphia Eagles injury report post-Friday practice. It ain't the news that the majority of us want to hear, as safety Justin Evans pops up on the report again, as one of our team leaders in Darius is on the report again, and our rookie phenom Jalen Carter remains on the report. Also, hearing some rumblings, hearing some rumors that the New York Jets fan base, some of their former players, and even some members of the media, they definitely feel like there's a favorable matchup inside the run game against this Philadelphia Eagles defense. Although as great as that Jets offense has been from the running game standpoint, I still feel like they might think that this is the 2022 version of this Eagles run defense and not the Elite 23 group that we've been putting out there on this season. All that and more coming up on today's show, guys. All right, y'all. Let's get it. What's up, Cerebral football fans? My name is Steven Hyder. This is Gate City Sports Shout. Another day, another injury for the Philadelphia Eagles secondary. This will be frustrating because as we stand here today, Darius Slay is still in an injury report. We're going to find out a little bit later today what his game status will be. And it's concerning to say the least. As it currently stands on the season, 4 out of 5 members of our starting secondary from week 1 have missed at least one game. And if Darius Slay is unable to play this weekend, he will become the 5th out of 5 members to not be able to play at least one game inside that secondary. Definitely not the start you want to see. Add to the complexity that Justin Evans is still dealing with a knee issue himself. We just got him back last week, and it looks like we could have some questions surrounding his availability this week too. Not good news for a secondary that was just starting to get its groove back in the second half of that Rams game. Rookie phenom Jalen Carter. This one hurts a little bit because we found out today that this is not some kind of long-term injury projection, anything like that. But the young man definitely did turn his ankle or hurt his ankle in some way in Wednesday's practice, which then put him on the injury report for Thursday and Friday, with him being unable to work out both days. I'm hoping that a little bit of that rice, the rest, ice, compress, and elevate will get this young man on the field come Sunday. But there seems to be some very, very serious doubt surrounding that line of thought, and it does look like we might be without our rookie phenom for Sunday's game. Hoping for the best there. Some surprising storylines coming out of the media today that I've noticed about the Philadelphia Eagles run defense. Definitely some members that seem to think that this is the 2022 version of the Philadelphia Eagles defense. And to be fair, I get that the New York Jets are a really good rushing offense. However, they're acting like this is the team that was giving up 121.3 yards per rush last season instead of the team that's currently giving up 61.2 yards per game on the season, which ranks number 1 overall in the NFL. The team that's graded the 2nd overall run defense by PFF, and the team that, if you look at rushing yards per attempt and the 3.4 we're giving up on the season, ranks 4th. But yet, we have members of the media who have these kind of hot takes.
You lean on that run. You lean on that run game. I tell you what, last year the Achilles heel for Philadelphia was that run defense.
I'm not here to throw any shade at all at the Jets because, boy, that's a good rushing offense. On the year, the Jets are averaging 123.2 yards per game, which ranks 11th. It's top third of the NFL. That's a good place to be, no doubt about it. If you look at things such as rushing yards per attempt, the New York Jets are ranked number 3 overall in the NFL with a 5.4 average. That's because Breece Hall is doing his thing, and he can definitely get those big chunk plays on you. Speaking of Breece Hall, the young man is in the top 10. He's ranked number 7 overall in yards with 386 yards on the season. He's number 2 in yards per attempt at 7.1, right behind Achney, who's the phenom out there in Miami. And he's also tied for 2nd in runs above 15 yards with 6 on the season. Definitely this is going to be an intriguing matchup. It definitely gets us a little worried whether or not Jalen Carter is going to play, but as long as we get Fletch back, as long as we've got our guy in Jordan Davis out there, as long as we got Milton Williams out there, Marlon Tuipulotu coming back from an injury. Look, I'm not saying things are going to be easy. I'm not saying the Jets aren't going to maybe find theirs at times in the run game. But I'm tired of people thinking that this is the 2022 version of the Philadelphia Eagles run defense. No, this 2023 version of the run defense is a whole lot different. But I will admit in saying that Jalen Carter is a pretty big reason why it's different. The subtraction of Javon Hargrave from our run defense and then the addition of Jalen Carter in that run defense has certainly played a role in the way that we look on the season. I can't lie about that. That part is absolutely true. The last thing I want to talk about here today is it looks like Fletcher Cox is clapping back at Coach Saleh. Fletcher Cox with the sneaky viewpoint about how they're going to handle this Jets offense by saying we intend on giving them 11 kisses ourselves.
What's the key? Making sure that he stays contained.
We got to go kiss him 11 times. Put 11 helmets on him.
I'm wondering if Saleh's comments won't come back to haunt him a little bit, and if it didn't just galvanize an Eagles roster and Eagles team that maybe you had a little bit of an advantage on due to some of the injuries and some of the concerns we have defensively with potentially 3 big major contributors to this defense maybe not playing, or even if they do play, being somewhat hindered. So I wonder if Robert Saleh just gave us a little bit of that external motivation. I know that stuff gets overhyped a little bit, but man, sometimes you might just need just that little shove, just a little bit there. And it seems like we're ready to get down there and mix it up with their run game. We see some of the leaders on our team responding back and ready to fight back. I'm really curious how this game is going to turn out. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all's time and attention. Before I sign off, I want one thing from you guys in the comment section. The Jets are averaging 123 yards per game. The Eagles' defense is only affording or giving up 61.2 yards per game. So in the comment section down below, guys, I want you guys to chime in and let me know what you think. Over, under 100 yards. Who wins the day? The Jets' offense, the Eagles' defense. And keep in mind, guys, if you're trying to stall things, if you're trying to play clock control, you might have a very low yards per average, rushing kind of figure, but that doesn't mean that you can't accumulate yards even if the offense doesn't look pretty. Just keep that in mind as you make those predictions, everybody. All right, y'all. I appreciate you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another video. Peace. I'm out of here.